Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. Today we're going to install XHP Stage 3 on my E90 BMW. You're going to want to have a battery charger connected to your car while you do this. You're going to need a cabeless DCAN cable, as well as an on-the-go USB cable for your phone. Okay, with the key in the on position, we are going to connect to the car. It's a 6-speed. Make sure you have your headlights off and your interior fan all the way off so that you don't kill the battery while you're doing this. So we're going to back up before anything from our transmission control module. It's saying XHP will create a full backup and it's going to take about 30 to 40 minutes. Just hit OK. And you can see it's doing its work there. So I'm going to let it run through this process and I'll come back when it's near completion. Okay, so there's the backup done. It did actually take 40 minutes. So now that we're done with that, I have to install the flash license. So it's going to ask me to pay for that. So it's saying please buy the flash license. So I'm not really interested in stage 1 or stage 2. I already have the Alpina flash. I could always go back to that, which would probably be somewhere in between 1 and 2. So I'm not going to buy the super license or the customization license. So I'm going to go for the general license. So we're going to purchase that. I could purchase a super license, which will come with all these licenses, but I'm not interested in that. So it's 112. I'm going to buy that and I'll come back. Okay, so that's taken care of. Now we're going to go back to stage 3. So XHP stage 3 is $90. Okay, so I've purchased the stage 3 maps now and they're being downloaded. Now it's asking me to install the flash tool. So while this is busy installing, I'm going to go over some of the benefits of XHP from what I've read. The main thing is the line pressure increase, additional clamping force on the clutches so that it can hold more power. I'm only interested in stage 3 because it's more aggressive than the Alpina flash. Stage 1 and 2 may be interesting for you guys that are still running on a stock transmission tune. There's also the customization license. It'd be interesting in the future to go into that in more detail and experiment with that. But from what I've read, just the off-the-shelf stage 3 map is really fun and aggressive and works great. So that's what we're doing here. We're installing that, and then when it's done, there's about a 50-mile break-in period for the transmission to reset adaptations. And then I'll get some in-car footage showing you how it shifts, and also primarily talk about how much better it is than Alpina. XHP has been installed successfully. You can now proceed to flash a map. So you have to do all that to even get to the point where you can flash a map. You can now flash your car using a custom map file or purchase an off-the-shelf map, which I already have. So we're going to go back to here. We're going to do the off-the-shelf map. So it says here, stage 3 raises the bar in every aspect. In D mode, only slightly firmer to the stage 2. You can read through that. So we're going to hit flash, and then we're going to do version 2.1, the latest. You're about to flash your car. This procedure will take 2 minutes. So it's not a big deal to switch between other versions of this map after the fact. So what I'm hoping for here is that I'm happy with just the off-the-shelf stage 3 map. It's going to keep things simple. You can play around with customizations. and change your shift points, etc. But I'm looking for something that's already just packaged and ready to go, kind of like an off-the-shelf map for MHD. So that's what you can expect from this video. Maybe in the future I'll go into detail with regards to the custom maps, but I'm not going to be too particular. I'm just looking for the increased line pressure, and I wouldn't mind the improved shift speed in manual mode compared to Alpina. Turn ignition off, sit for 10 seconds at least. Now we'll hit OK, so it can clear all the fault codes. They're just being extra safe by telling you to turn your ignition on and off. You don't really have to, but you might as well follow the directions here. So it says your map file is being flashed successfully. Remember to let your transmission adapt before pushing on it. Adaptations need low loads and a lot of coasting to take place. We suggest at least 50 miles of smooth urban city driving. Please turn off your ignition to complete the process. So that takes care of the flashing process. Now it's going to take some regular driving to get the car ready, and once it's ready I will do some in-car footage showing you how it performs. So we'll come back once I've done at least 50 miles and we're ready to test. All right, so hopefully that gives you an idea of what to expect from XHP. Overall, I'm quite happy with it. It's a decent upgrade, I would say, over Alpina. Manual mode is considerably more aggressive, quick, crisp shifts. Sport mode seems to hold the gear a little bit longer. Not too much, but a little bit longer than the Alpina. And D seems to have a little more bite to it, like 10 or 20% more acceleration. It doesn't seem as lazy, so to speak. I guess that's the best way to put it. Now I want to talk to you about the transmission adaptations. We're going to go over here down where it says service and read the adaptation values. This will give you a sense of how healthy your transmission is. And I don't have a full understanding of what these values mean, but I think I have a pretty good idea from what I read. I didn't find it on any forums or any discussions regarding XHP. I found it on the ZF PDFs that they put out there, the transmission manufacturer. So now it's pulling the data off the transmission control. And as you can see, my car, in terms of pressures, it's actually not adding any major pressure, it's pulling pressure. So it doesn't need extra clamping force for the clutch to engage. Check out the mileage there, 308,000 kilometers or about 200,000 miles. Basically the full rated life expectancy of this transmission, considering it was babied and not tuned. So overall, that would be a good indicator. And I know why this is as good as it is. You rarely would see that. It's because my solenoids have been replaced. I did all the tube seals and I changed the fluid recently and put all new solenoids, new filter, everything. That's all great, right? And if you guys are showing high values anywhere, I believe it can go up to 750 M-bar before it will run out of clamping force. And if you're slipping, then you just have mechanical wear and there's nothing you can do. But from this side, I would say that's a good sign. The hydraulics of my transmission are in good shape. I've been on top of the maintenance. Down here, quick charge time, they call it. From what I understand, this is how long it takes when you're pre-prepping the clutch to engage, how long it takes before there's engagement sensed. I guess I could be way off here, but this is how I interpreted it. Now, that's probably okay. That's probably not good. B is not, there's not a whole lot of room left to compensate, but as you can see, there's no clamping issues. It's just, I'm probably at, I would imagine 60 to 80% spent in terms of my thickness of clutches, if I interpret that correctly. D is in good shape. E is the first one to go on your cars. If you have like 100,000 or 70,000 miles, you may see like 50, 60, 70, 80, 110 milliseconds, etc. That is the clutch that controls gears 4 through 6, or at least defines the ratio they will have, as far as I understand, kind of like an overdrive, if I got that right. But anyway, that is probably not great either. I'm down to like 60 or 70% spent on that, maybe even worse. So hey, you know what? Considering the mileage, I'm not complaining. It still shifts mint, it still shifts crisp. It doesn't feel any different than a brand new transmission. It's just, there's only so much wear material remaining on the clutches, according to this, but it's done zero compensation and there's never been any slipping according to this. That's how I interpret this. So you guys should expect your E value to be highest. If you're in the 35 to 50, maybe 70 range, don't freak out. If you have 120,000 miles or 200,000 kilometers and you're getting past 100, it's probably normal. And considering I got 308,000 out of this transmission thus far, and these are my numbers, I would imagine my clutches will be finished in maybe another 50,000 kilometers. I would guess, considering I'm tuned. I'm not too rough on my car, but hopefully that helps you guys out. I think this is really interesting and can give you an idea of what to expect. It tells you here that they rate these against other, there's no field here, which I was expecting to compare to similar cars. But maybe XHP can chime in on this video, that'd be great. Max positive pressure is 750 bar. No signs of slip, no signs that I had to bump up pressure to avoid slip. So that's kind of cool. But I think that's probably bad. 139 is probably one of those territories where you're like, okay, start planning for eventually doing a rebuild or whatever. But I'm okay with it. Look at the mileage. How much can you expect out of the transmission? This thing's had a hard life. It's been tuned for at least 100,000 of those kilometers, maybe more. Yeah, so this is probably not the most entertaining video I've put out there, but I think it'll be helpful for you guys that are considering doing a transmission flash. If you're on a stock flash on your car and you have MHD, absolutely do this. It's going to be awesome. You're going to love it. If you've already experienced Alpina, then this will seem like a decent upgrade, like in my opinion, 20% improvement. It's nice. The manual mode seems very aggressive now. So anyway, hopefully you guys found this video useful or entertaining. If this is your first video, consider subscribing for more content like this. I upload regularly. Wow.